Okay. I think you're live now.
Yes, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see me live, right?
Okay, I want to check now because it's not coming live. Okay, okay. I can see you live now.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Wait 1 minute.
so go ahead.
1 minute. Let me just.
Uh,
So share on my page. Okay. I think we are live now.
yes, yeah.
Okay, we are live now. Hello. Hi everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a good privilege and an opportunity to come your way this afternoon. Thank you so much, Kanwa, for joining us. It's a good
Thank you.
privilege to have you. This does not happen every time, and when you have this type of opportunity, you don't take it for granted. All right, my name is Korede Akindele, and I'm privileged to come your way today. Today, we will be discussing something very, very important, and but before we go into the main topic, which is ahead of us, I just want to make people understand what this is all about. There's a saying by a wise man that says, when something is not known, abuse is inevitable. I mean, when you don't understand the purpose of why things is happening, so many people have asked me, okay, is it because everybody's doing webinar? That's what I said, no. I mean, it's just trying to address a particular issues and in people life and in people. So basically, growth from within is just to help ourselves understand some basic things about life and how to how to overcome these issues in life. So, what is growth? I mean, we ask ourselves because, like I said, we need to understand something before we dive into it. Growth can simply be defined as increase in something. Increase, that means moving from one level of life to another level. So, for example, you plant a seed, so it germinates, it grow. If the seed is not growing, that means there's a problem. I mean, you give a birth to a child. I mean, 9 months after the pregnancy, the first month, the second month, every parent, every mother expect a growth in the child. Okay, from the place I mean, eating to this place of crawling to the place of walking. That's the growth. So it's a movement, a process of increase. So, but we need to understand what process is all about, and I think that is basically what we are here to share with ourselves. Process of growth. I mean, process. It's a way of life. It's a way of doing things, and so in this time, we just want to deal with what are the things that is affecting the process of growth in our life. What are the things that is affecting our ways of moving from one particular place to another particular place? And that is what we want to do, because when we deal with the process, then we can go. And this afternoon, we'll be dealing with how to manage stress and anxiety, because one of the things that can hinder growth, one of the things that can hinder one from moving, it's just simply stress and anxiety, and in this type of time that we are. And it's so privileged to have Kanwa uh, in our midst. It's such a wonderful time having you. Thank you so much. Like I said, you've seen the post. Kanwa is a co-founder of Minds Village Institute Dubai, and she has over 10 years experience in pharmaceutical, and she's been able to help great people doing great things. So she will be taking us through how to overcome this in this time. So I just want you to open your mind. It's a learning together process. Try and open your mind, jot down, ask questions. There's going to be time for questions. Ask questions, and I want to tell you in the few minutes that we're going to be using here, everything you need to know will definitely come. So over to you, Kanwa. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome you for today's session. And thank you, Korede, for inviting me to discuss about the today's topic, which is mainly about anxiety, stress, and fear nowadays. Uh, as we are talking about the situation currently, the situation right now, before going into the current situation, I want to go inside first about the human inside of the human, what how we are mechanized, how we are being created, and what are our natural processes. So basically, being a human being, we are living in the two states of mind. The first state of mind is like state of survival, and the second state of mind is the state of creation. And the state living in the state of survival is basically living in the stress situation. Now, as we know that stress is everywhere, and people can easily recognize themselves as a stressful situation. And especially right now, the current situation is basically stress is getting out of balance. Getting out of balance means getting out of homeostasis, our natural balances. When our natural body balance get out, it's not in the same align, then we say it is a stress. And our body, our bodies actually know, they actually know that how to cover this situation, this out of balance situation. So basically, stress is just a response, is a response when our body feel that it's some kind of out of balance. Then it release the stress response to make it again in the previous balancing situation. So when we talk about, it's very important, we will go through how to release stress, how to release fear, and what we should do on coping up this time, stress and fear and anxiety basically. But what I want to discuss first, what is stress. And first we should have an understanding about the stress situation and a stress, how it affects our body, and then we go into the how to do the positive thing, or how to cover it up. So basically, we have, as a human being, we have three types of stress. uh, Number one is physical stress, when our body feels three type of stress. The first type is physical stress, and physical stress when means that our body, when we come across some kind of accident, some kind of injuries, and some kind of also injuries, accidents, fallout, where we fall down and our body affected, that's called a physical stress. Then the second type of the stress is a chemical stress. And by chemical stress, I mean bacteria, virus, which is the currently the situation is going on, like food poisoning, hormonal problem. This all come and when it creates a stress in the body, which is a chemical stress. And the third type of the stress is basically an emotional stress. By emotional stress, I mean like a traffic jam, when we are stuck in a traffic jam, when we have stuck in some other situation, and mainly when we are stuck in our thoughts, then we create the emotional stress. And out of these three stress, the most common stress, you can guess, all of you can guess which one is the most common stress. Of course, it's a emotional stress, right? So emotional stress is the most common stress. Even if you see the situation right now we are facing, is basically those people who have, this is a chemical stress, as we already suggest, virus is a chemical stress. But not all of us have this virus. Not all of us have, have this viral stress on our body. We are having more on the emotional stress. And that emotional stress, before having the chemical stress, we are getting ourselves involved in the emotional stress. And this emotional, and that's why we still have, our body still feel the same when what it feel in the emotional stress or chemical stress or physical stress. Our body is going to the same, through the same mechanism basically. So this is what I'm saying, our thoughts and our only emotional stress can create the same response in our body. So basically, what is the response when a person, either through thoughts or through chemical stress like virus and bacteria, or through physical stress like accidents and trauma, when it goes through the not only human being but all organism, they have an innate mechanism to as a feedback mechanism of this situation. And that, like, just take an example. If we take an example of let's say a deer who which is chased by a lion. What happened when a deer just felt the the sense that the reality that that the lion is chasing the deer? What it started doing, it opens the flight and fright response. And what happened, during the flight, the stress have three responses, basically: flight, fright, and flees. So what happened when there is a perceived danger, and all of the organism, not only the human, including the human beings, basically all other organism, we have this innate mechanism. So when our body feel, or this kind of stress, this kind of danger, like a deer, taking an example of deer, when deer perceive this danger, that the lion is about to chase him or is chasing him, or like chasing it, what happened, the mechanism goes off. And in that mechanism, either fight or flight response take over. And what it does, basically, that it open up all the energy from different areas of the body and bring this energy into the extremities, that the deer has to run faster or flight harder. Of course, the deer is not capable of fight to the lion, so it flight. But what happened after that? Let's say this deer, it sense the danger, and it fly away, like it start running out from the lion, and luckily it got saved, right? So what happened after just 15 to 20 minutes, when the danger gone, when it is safe from the lion? What happened after 15 to 20 minutes? It only, like, it goes back to its normal routine. It go start grazing, it start whatever, it become relaxed. But unlikely this thing in the human being. We human being, when we have a perceived danger, mind you, though, we perceive the danger. Most of the time we are not in the dangerous situation. Most of the time we are just in our thoughts, we are perceiving the danger, and a same mechanism goes off in our body. Like stress mechanism goes off because we are perceiving the danger, as like other organism. Our stress response goes off and we start fighting or flighting mood. So what happened in the human body? We know that this part of our body, the front part, this whole part is called, we call it visceral part. And in the visceral part, where all our major organs reside, our heart, our kidney, our digestive system, our liver, all the major organs reside in our front part, which we call as a visceral part. And this visceral part of our body, it takes much of our energy. Like whatever the energy we are having, like these organs, the major organs, it takes much of our energy. So what happened during stress, when we have a perceived stress or the real stress or the real, sorry, what or the real danger? So when we have a perceived or real danger, all the energy, all this part of the visceral part energy shut off, or it slows down the supply of energy to the major part of the body, like our heart, our kidney, our digestive system, our liver, all this, our lungs also. So all this, these all organs taking much of our energy. So when we have a perceived danger, it's an innate mechanism of the body that the energy supply to these organs is reduced, and all this energy goes into our extremities, like in our hand and in our feet. In our hand to fight harder with the danger, or in our feet to fly faster, to run faster. So these two response happen when we have a perceived danger. So just imagine, we as a human being, we are we are the creation of God. We as a human being, what we do, we have a perceived danger by our thoughts alone. We can think and we are in a dangerous situation. So when we are in the dangerous situation and our energy is taken from our main vital organs and it has been transferred to our hands and our feet, so at that time we have less supply of our energy to our important organs. And being a human being, we are being in this situation for a long time. We don't only, like a deer, when the danger gone, they start grazing again, they become normal. Okay, and their normal mechanism starts again. But as a human being, we just activate this mechanism by our thought, and we don't stop it. We keep thinking, and it worsens the situation because it goes on for a long time, and the real energy, the required energy is not reaching to our major organs, and then we start creating the disease or the problem. So that's the main response, and then we attract the disease more oftenly because our immunity shut down, and our digestive system shut down, our immunity shut down. If that's why mostly when people are stressed, they have stomach problem, because their digestive system does not get the energy that they require, and that's also need their immunity shut down. So when, if you are stressed and your immunity shut down, and right now, like for example this situation, we are facing the chemical stress, how much we are prone to the chemical stress when our immunity already shut down. Do you agree, Kurid, with that? Yeah.
Yes,
So
I
yeah, so if already our immunity shut down because of the emotional stress, so we are already open for the chemical stress, which is a threat right now. So we are already prone towards the chemical stress, which is bacteria and virus. And
yes,
so why we are doing this with us? Because we have no awareness, we have no knowledge that being just thinking about something which not yet happened, which we are just thinking yet, that what if
yes,
we have, for example, right now the situation, the people are having more stress and fear, is what will happen in the future, what will happen when uh, if I lose my job because of this situation right now, what will happen with the economy, what will happen if I got the corona, and if if I will die. Like, this type of thoughts coming in people's mind, which is not yet true, which is not in the present situation right now. Maybe a lot of situation, a lot of economical situation, we are thinking, we are hearing from the news and stuff, but this is not the truth. This is right now, we are staying at our home, we are doing the necessary requirement, necessary precautionary measure in order to avoid the chemical stress to our body. But what we are doing, we are still giving stress to our body, which is emotional stress. So we should have this understanding, we should have this knowledge, that just by thought we can accelerate this mechanism, which will take energy out of our main organs of the body and main part of the body, and we can not only, maybe we will not get corona, but we are prone to other diseases, we are prone to maybe have heart diseases because of the anxiety, we are open to the kidney disease, we are open to the other all vital organ disease, which could be more serious. So that's how I want to explain about the stress. We should have understanding. And now talking about anxiety, so what do you think, there is any difference between anxiety and stress?
yes, yes. There is a difference between anxiety and stress. So many people does not understand what anxiety and stress is all about. Can you now? You've just explained to us what stress is all about. You understand? And
Hmm.
so many people look at it like, okay, when you say I'm stressed, maybe I've done a long day work. That's what make me stressed. Okay, I'm tired. I'm nagging. That's what make me stressed. But most times, can you just share a bit in connection with stress, what anxiety is all about and stress? Can you shed more
Okay.
light?
Yeah. Okay. Stress, I will explain that when we have a perceived danger or a real danger, then our, in the gland, our adrenal gland release a hormone called adrenal, from the adrenal cortex, which is cortisol hormone. And that cortisol hormone is responsible for our creating the fight and flight response. So again, what is the anxiety? Anxiety is basically same as stress. If you see chemically, if you see our body, it releases exactly the same chemical, same hormone in our body to create the same response, which is fear, which is fight and flight. So anxiety basically is thinking about future. When you are anxious, or when you say that I have anxiety, anxiety is when you are thinking about something gonna happen, something worse gonna happen in the future. Okay, that's what anxiety, although chemically and in terms of disease, is the same thing as stress. Stress, when you are thinking about depression, depression is the same thing as a stress. When you're thinking about something happened in the past, and you are thinking about what this thing happened in the past, then you have exactly the same chemical response, you have exactly the same reaction in the body, which is about the anxiety. So anxiety is basically thinking something happen in the future which is not yet happened, and and depression is about that you are thinking about something which has already happened in the past. But if you see in the umbrella, in the under the stress umbrella, depression, and it is the same thing. Either you say it fear, you say it anxiety, you say it depression, it really, it affect the body in the same way. So when we are talking about this situation and people are more in the stress, basically they are in the anxiety when they are thinking about the future.
Okay.
So and it has the same effect on the body.
Okay. Can you show us what are the signs? What are the things that makes you know that okay, you are now living in anxiety about something? What are the negative side of these things? Can you show us?
Yeah, sure. So I want to if I want to share with my, okay, I want to explain in some other way, that maybe we can understand it better. You know that everything, we are having two poles, like positive and negative poles. So what happened with our body and what happened with us during the time of stress? Like for example, let me draw, forgive my drawing because it's not that good, but I want to draw something to share. So let's say this is us, this is a person. Okay, I'm just drawing a stick person. Okay, this is a human being, and I divide this, the head represent this head, let's say this has head represent mind. Okay, and this is the body, or maybe I think I can write it inside. So this is mine. Okay, and this is body. This is mind, and this one is body. Okay, so what happened when we have a stress response, when we have we know that there is positive and negative. Where is this pen
Okay.
gone? Huh? Okay, I want the pen back. Okay, so let's say this is negative side of our thoughts, when we have a negative thoughts, and let's say this is positive when we have a positive thoughts. Okay,
Okay.
and this all negative and positive thoughts in our mind. So we have the ability to think something negative, and we have still the ability to think something about positive. What happened when we register some negative thought in our body? So
Okay.
first, let's say we have registered worry, we are worried about something, and we have registered worry and doubt in our mind, in our
Okay.
thoughts. Okay, I want to put it here. Okay, so let's say we have a negative thought, which is kind of worry and doubt. And this mind that we are having here is conscious mind, and the down here you see is an unconscious mind.
Just mine.
Okay,
Okay.
so when we register any thought which is worry and doubt, it leads to us on the conscious level, it leads to us as a, on the unconscious level as a fear. Okay, so we think about something, let's say some thought comes up, keeping on the right now the situation, what situation we have. So when we think about some worried thoughts, some doubts that I don't know what will happen with my job, I don't know what will happen with my health, or any kind of thing, then we keep thinking these thoughts again and again, and after so much repetition, this from this, let's say this, the upper part, as we divide, I divide this, the circle, the first circle, into two half. The upper part is conscious mind, and the lower part, let's say this is unconscious mind. Okay, so what is the difference between conscious and unconscious? Conscious mind when we think something, when we are thinking. Unconscious mind when we are doing something. Okay, when we have some kind of emotions, that it is part of the unconscious mind. So let's say when we have some kind of thoughts which is about worried, and we are having a doubtful thoughts, it registered first in our conscious mind, and we keep thinking. When we keep thinking about these thoughts, so what happened? This thought lead us to the fear,
Mm.
which register in the unconscious mind.
Mm.
Okay, and that and basically that fear, when we keep, that fear is the emotional part. When you start feeling emotions of fear, that maybe I will lose my job, maybe I will get this corona, maybe I will get this disease. So you start fearing of, and
Mm.
that fear thing will lead you to anxiety or depression. And as we already know, that anxiety is a form of depression. Okay,
Yes.
so what will happen then? After anxiety we have depression. And uh, Okay, so fear is happening in the in the unconscious mind.
Mhm.
Okay, and then when something happened in the unconscious mind, it raised to the body. So
Yeah.
after that we start feeling in our body anxiety and depression, some kind of vibration happen. You start feeling vibration, you start feeling some, some uncomfortable feelings in the body, and that is a part of the body, that body will feel the anxiety and depression. And that anxiety and depression will be suppressed. It will not be expressed, and we still inside of our body we are feeling this thing, it is suppressed. And that anxiety and depression will lead us into the disease.
Mhm.
So our body will now feel the any kind of disease that will come up through this anxiety and depression. And then this disease will lead us to what? Disintegration.
Mm.
So basically, this is what happened in our body when we are in the negative thoughts. So we are going, if you see from the first, we are thinking some negative thoughts, and that negative thoughts, when we keep thinking, it brings worry and doubt on our conscious level. And that worry and doubt, it goes to the unconscious level as a fear. So we start feeling the emotion of the fear. And that emotion of fear will lead us to anxiety, which is in the body. If we start feeling vibration in the body, and because of this anxiety and depression, we lead ourselves to disease, and then this disease causes disintegration in our body. So this
Okay.
is what it happened on a physical level when we are stressed.
Okay. And so, like you rightly said, when we put a lot of worry in ourselves and doubt, it goes into fear. Then we start getting afraid of unnecessary things. Then it brings anxiety. A lot of anxiety. Anxiety is thinking about the past. So everything that has happened in the past, then it begins to recall. Then our mind is glued together. Then anxiety will generate disease in our body, and immediately, and if there is a disease in someone's body, you start what? Disintegration. So that means something is coming down. Now, this is the problem. This is the issue. So many people are in this right now. I mean, like you said, so many people are still in the worry state. I mean, the present happening, and even if you look at it now, uh, worry is not just about the present condition. Some people has been living in worry even before I mean, the happenings in the world started now. Worry about maybe their finances, worry about their career growth, worry about their business, worry about their relationships, and these has create fear. And so what we are dealing with this afternoon is not just about the present condition in the world. It goes more than that. How do you balance the present conditions and even those worry that's locked in your mind? Some people are in the worry stage. Some people are in fear also now. Now it has gone anxiety. And when you go to the hospitals and you begin to see the way things are happening to some people, doctor tells you you're fine. And I have an experience I'll quickly share before I move on. When this thing of a corona started, because I still go out and I mix with a lot of people, and the fear started coming, and this is generating symptoms unnecessarily. Nothing, nothing. I've not come in contact. I didn't travel. I've not having travel history. I've not come in contact with an infected person, but the fear of this thing. Then I start feeling sick. I started having flu, started coughing, started having nose on. And so I forced myself to go to the hospital. And the first thing the doctor tells me was, man, you are fine. You are normal. All these signs are just what you've created for yourself. So I have now, if I have not been able to meet a doctor that has helped me through, maybe now I'll be having the disease or something. So now this is the problem. So how do we overcome this thing? So what are the positive things that needed to be done to overcome your worry, your fear, your anxiety, depression?
Okay, as we already agree, like we know that everything, if there is any negative side of something, there must be some positive thing. Okay,
Yes.
so it's a two opposite pole. We work on the polarity. Like all of the problem have some solution. All of the thing, so we can obviously reverse this situation. What, instead of thinking like as we say, we instead of thinking these negative thoughts, that that brings in fear, worry and doubt here, and then fear in the unconscious level, and then anxiety and depression on the body. Instead of this, we can go to the opposite side, and that opposite side is basically the when we talk when we have like, what is the opposite? If you see like this way, what is the opposite of worry and doubt? The opposite of worry and doubt is basically, you can see here, we can put here, understanding. So when we understand something really, so it's basically the opposite. It's basically the opposite of worry and doubt. So on the conscious level, when that's why I started with give you some understanding, some kind of understanding about stress. What is stress basically? So instead of worrying and doubt, we have some kind of understanding that, let's say we start getting more inside what happened with our body when we are stressed, what happened in the other situation. So instead of worry or doubt, the positive side of the worry and doubt is understanding. And when you have, and how you get that understanding, you get that understanding by knowledge. So you have to be knowledgeable enough, you have to get that knowledge, will give you the understanding. So when you have understanding and you get that understanding through knowledge, through getting awareness, then what will you have? You will create a faith on the body, on the subconscious level. When you understand something, and when you have understand, you get understanding through some good kind of knowledge, some very positive knowledge, then you create a faith level. And that faith level is basically on the subconscious level. Okay, so when on the subconscious level you have faith, and that faith basically, what it will develop, then instead of anxiety, that faith will lead you where? Well-being. Okay, so when you are well-being and you are in positive vibration, you know the law of universe. When you give something positive, you will receive positive. So when, and faith, when and well-being is all expressed. Have you ever seen if somebody, like you are talking with somebody, and you are saying, how are you? And they are saying, I am good, I am okay. No, they cannot suppress it, because if they are well, they're like, yeah, I'm good. And because it has to express. Depression can be suppressed, anxiety can be suppressed, but well-being cannot be suppressed. If somebody is well, if somebody is happy, then they can express this happiness through their body. And that's why this well-being, this and that's why basically well-being, they leads to happiness. And they leads to basically create positive vibration. Like, we, when you are well, when you're giving something good, you create a positive vibration. And let's say here, and that positive energy basically will help you what? When you are vibrating in a positive vibration, it will help you to create. You will be in the create mode. Remember, we talked about earlier, human being is living in two modes, either survival or the creation. So when you are, so there, here you can say, in this opposite, in the negative side, you are surviving mode, you are in the surviving, which leads to the disintegration of the body. But when you are on the opposite side, you have certain kind of understanding, you get some knowledge, you have faith, you are well-being, you create positive energy, then you are in the creation mode. And no matter what is the situation, no matter whatever going on outside, you can still have being on in your creation mode, and you can develop a lot of things, to be the better future. So right now, for example, we are in this stress situation, we like in the situation that is outside, we have to stay at home. But rather staying at home on and worrying and doubt and getting fear, and get ourselves more prone to disease, or we have another option to create something, to become well-being, to think positive, to get some understanding. And I think this is the best time of getting ourselves aware of the things. Especially we have to understand about the knowledge of our mind, how our mind works, how you can communicate, connect with your mind. This is the best time, because being in this industry, when we are talking about the people, how to get this understanding about their mind, how to be well-being, how to develop yourself personally and professionally, the mostly we hear the response is that we are out of time, we have work, we have this thing to do, so we cannot have time to invest our time in the development of themselves basically. But I feel this is the best time for yourself to invest in you, to get the knowledge of this thing and create for your future. We still don't know what is going to happen, but rather to be in the disease, in the worry side, in the negative side that you can see here, rather to being here is better to be in the positive side, so you can create something for your future. And how you can create from this, because when you are body in the creation mood, you will get some idea, you will develop yourself to face the situation, whatever it is, either positive or negative.
Okay, that's. I think that's clear. Clear. I mean, you can see that it is better to be on the positive side, because when you are on the positive side, you've helped yourself. When you are in a positive side, you will achieve greater things. I mean, few things that I noted down, that okay, you need understanding to overcome worry. Now, a clear understanding of a perspective will makes you overcome anything. Now, the reason why most of us fail or do things is because we do not understand these things. So when you understand something, and it will makes you go through the process until you begin to create positive vibrations. And positive vibrations is what builds our life. Like you said, the positive side is great, because you can see that it's a process of growth. It's something that you need to deal with. So, I mean, most times in life, we keep asking ourselves, okay, why have I not been able to do this? Why have I not been able to do this? Okay, I wanted to set this goal, it's not coming up. And you create the fear all around you. You create the worry all around you, and you begin to pour out negativity, even for yourself. And so, like I used to say to people, that okay, the first thing that can affect a man in life is self-destructive fear. And I think that is, I mean, fear that you created for yourself over being worried about the situations and everything around. And this is what you just clearly explained to us. I mean, you need to understand something. When you understand something, you need to have a knowledge of this thing, because it is knowledge that puts you above fear. Whatever you want to do in life, whatever it is your aspirations, whatever is your desires for life, you need to have a knowledge of it. Now, the knowledge of your phone, now when you have a phone, for example, you have a phone and you cannot navigate the phone, but immediately you have a knowledge about that phone, you gain power over the phone. Then you could navigate all around. You can move from Facebook, you can move from Twitter, you can move around. You could do three, four, five things together on the phone. Why? Because you're able to do what, have knowledge about it. So you need to understand the process. Then you need to have a knowledge about what you are afraid of, if I can get better. And also, that when you have a knowledge, then you begin to build faith in your subconscious mind. Faith is being built in our subconscious mind, and then it leads to our well-being, and then it also creates positive vibration in the journey of life. So, if I may ask another question. So, now, if how do we manage? Because if you put in sustainability is another key. I can heal myself to this right now. I can get it right now. How do people sustain? Because most times you see that so many people have access to knowledge, so many people have access to understanding, but the problem is they do it 2 3 days. How do they sustain this thing and make it a way of life?
Yeah, and this is again, I want to go back to the same drawing that I shared before. People have sometime knowledge, they know what are they thinking that's not good for their body, they know that whatever is happening is not good, but they understand this on the conscious level. So what we saw here, let's say let's remove this thing. Okay, and we saw that this is conscious mind. Okay, and this is unconscious mind. And
Okay.
as your question, that people sometimes they have understanding, they have the knowledge, but still they are unable to do what is needed to be done. The only reason why they are not able to do, because that knowledge and that understanding is only on the conscious level.
Mm,
They have knowledge, they have understanding, okay,
mm,
but it only stay in their conscious mind. And
Mm.
until and unless it goes into the unconscious or subconscious mind, we can say it's subconscious as well. So until and unless this knowledge is going down into the concept, into the unconscious level, where they will develop the faith.
Mm.
Okay, so where they have faith and what they know and they believe it,
Mm.
and they believe, until and unless they have faith and they have belief, they will not, their body will not act on it, because only after, when they have knowledge on the conscious level, only after going on the subconscious level, then it will, the next step is the body.
Mm.
So they will not act, they will not feel it until and unless this knowledge and this understanding is going through the unconscious level, and then it will affect into the body. And when
Mm.
they are into the body, when it comes into the body will vibrate in that frequency, whatever it is, positive or negative, and we will produce the same results.
Mm.
Okay, so until and
Okay.
unless this knowledge and understanding, when it comes to the faith, it's come to the real understanding which you
Mhm.
can get. Even if you have knowledge and you don't know how to believe that, it means you are not understanding it. So once you get the knowledge and you have a proper understanding, it ultimately goes into an unconscious mind, where the faith and, the acceptance, you can also say the acceptance of this knowledge. Let me ask you a question from you, or the people who are watching.
Okay.
I can see a lot of people on the Facebook right now. I have a question for you. How many of you actually believe in that idea that our thoughts create our thoughts have some effect on our body or our life? How many of you have that this type of belief? Who believe in that idea that really our thoughts have some effect in our body? I want to see, or maybe I can ask you as well. So, do you believe that in this idea that our thoughts, whatever we are thinking, our thoughts have effect in our body and in our life as well?
Yes, yeah, yes. I do believe that whatever you're thinking about has a way it affects your body and your mind. I mean, I believe that. I mean, and I shared
Okay.
an example uh, just now that what I experienced at the beginning of this coronavirus, I begin to put it in my mind, and it begin to affect my body. So I believe so much that whatever we have in our mind has a way it affects our body. And if it started affecting your body, it started affecting your productivity outside. Because I mean, for example, if you've been able to I mean, going into anxiety and there is disease in your body, you fall sick, you will not be able to do the things you're doing before for yourself. You will not be able to go to work. You will not be able to do your business. Your family will be lagging behind. So it for me, I see that it's not just about even the body alone, even the external things around our life, it affects it also. So
So,
I
I
believe.
want to ask the same question that those who are watching on Facebook. Do you believe in this idea that our thoughts affects our body and affects our life? How many of you actually believe in that idea? I think most of people are joining now as well. So I have a question for you. How many of you literally believe in that idea that our thoughts have an effect in our body or in our life? So as you said also, Kureed, that you believe, and a
Yes.
lot of people, they believe in this idea. So
Mhm.
it means that if you see in the same picture again, on the conscious level, we have an understanding. And a lot of people, when you ask this question, that do you believe in this idea that whatever you are thinking has an effect in your body, and they say, yeah, yeah, we believe. We know, we accept this idea, we have this knowledge that whatever we are thinking, either positive or negative, it has effect in our body and it has effect in our life. And if you
Mhm.
see in this diagram, uh, and if I ask again another question, if you believe in this idea, if you have this understanding or this knowledge, you can say that our thoughts has an effect on our body and our life. How
Mhm.
many of you how get up really today in the morning, and then they create the future of the desire? They think about the future and they literally have in the positive thoughts to what they are going to create, because as we agree that our thoughts has an effect in our life and in our body as well. So how many of us literally get up in the morning and create those thoughts and make and think about those thoughts and create the future that we desire? I think not all of us and not most of the us, because we have this knowledge and knowledge about that our thoughts have effect in our body, but we don't have faith on it. You see, in the subconscious level down, we have this understanding, we have this knowledge that our thoughts has an effect in our life, but we are not taking this thought on the unconscious level. We are not accepting this. Otherwise, we will only think, we will not allow our mind to let go any of the negative thought. Once we know that whatever we are thinking has an effect in our body, has an effect in our life, so how, if you literally accept this idea and accept that understanding and get deeply understanding, you will not allow any of the negative thoughts, any of the negative doubts to pass through your mind, because you know that it will affect your future, it will affect your body in the present level as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you see the difference here. Once
Yes.
you have an idea, any knowledge, even though that your question that people have knowledge and still they are unable to think, they have knowledge but only on the conscious level. Their
Mm-hmm.
knowledge is not deepened into the unconscious level, because once they accept this idea, once they have faith on this idea or any kind of knowledge, then they ultimately affect the body. And when it affect the body will not be the same. We will not go on the negative side, which we discuss as a fear and anxiety and depression. We will go on the positive side. Our body will ultimately move without our conscious effort, because look, when we are in fear, when we are in anxiety, do we consciously create some disease in our body?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
When we have fear, when we have anxiety, our body ultimately create the disease, which is
Mm-hmm.
our out of our conscious awareness. We don't know that, we find it out that, oh, our body create the disease, right? So body moves by itself, either it's negative or it's positive. So when we
Yes.
are fearful, when we have anxiety, we have doubt, we create the disease. Our body
Yes.
create the disease out of this unconscious thoughts, unconscious feelings, anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, when we are on the positive side, when we accept this idea, when we create our future, we don't have to do anything. Our body will create something to bring the positive results, to make us in the creation mood.
Mm-hmm.
We got into the creation mood, and our body move itself by its own to create something best in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we can differentiate, how we can, uh, internalize the understanding. And that's why only understanding on the conscious level is not enough. You have to go into the deep understanding and
Yes.
about your mind, about yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we as a Mind Village Institute also, we help people to get knowledge about yourself, your self awareness, how to convert these conscious thoughts into the unconscious thought. That's what we do in Mind Village Institute.
Okay, that's quite quite deep. That's quite deep. So before we move on, I want you to explain more on the solutions that Minds Village is providing to this, because so that but before we go into that, I don't know, maybe people watching, anybody has questions or any comment, something you would like to, people watching on Facebook, or maybe you just have one or two questions you would like to ask Kamwa before we move on. Is there something, I mean, about yourself that is not clear on your thoughts, mind process, and you want to ask questions? Maybe we can just hold on for just for like 1 2 minutes. If you have a question, you can just type it on the comment section. Then we would talk about it. Maybe we move on while we expect the question. When the question comes, and then Kanwa can answer. So I would like you to, while we're waiting for the question, I would like you to talk more on Minds Village. What is happening? How do Mind Village create solutions to these issues around people's lives? And what is Minds Village currently doing now to create solutions? What is happening now in Minds Village alongside with this?
Okay. Mind Village Institute basically is created with a vision. Like it's the institute basically founded in keeping a vision, which is to impact people's life, inspire people, and impact people's life. And that is the main reason right now a lot of other institute, they are waiting for things to get over, and to go and then start training and do this stuff. But because we are on our mission, and we need, this is the most important time that most of the people need us, as we are providing the solution, we are giving you the knowledge about your mind. We are helping you to know about yourself and how to develop yourself personally as well as professionally. Because when you have your personal knowledge, when you know about, you have self awareness, you know that what are the beliefs that holding you back, and you can change that
mm,
those beliefs. You have an idea that okay, how your brain function, what are how is stress affecting your brain and your body and your life situation, what are your most important values. When and literally your self emotion, your emotional intelligence, your self awareness, when you have deep understanding about yourself, your life purpose basically,
mm,
then only you will be able to utilize those knowledge, and you can work that what is working for you. So as a Mind Village Institute, we always make sure that you are impacting yourself first, you are getting inspired first to inspire others. And then
mm,
this is what we are doing. We are having the courses that let you people help yourself first, and understand about and get understanding about yourself. Even if you want, if you know yourself better, and if you want to develop more and you want to grow further, then we are helping you with the tools and techniques how to get your professional way, your personal life, even your relationship, your
mm,
personal life, your professional life in a best way possible. So that is how we are in the Mind Village Institute. We have certain courses, we have the certain professional and personal management courses, development courses, through which we can help
oh,
this. So in this situation right now, because we have this NLP, neuro linguistic programming and life coaching training, which we can be postponed it for the live, it's basically a live training, and we never did it for the first online. But we can postpone this training until the things get over. But what I believe, this is the time that we should even running more trainings than we were running in the live. So that right now we have option of online training, and I am preparing myself, to make sure that same experience that we gave in the live training, we are doing our best to give the same experience on online training, which is
mm,
very soon coming up. And we still want in this situation to help people get rid of their problems, and that's why, understanding the economical situation also, we have reduced about 75% of the prices of our course.
mm. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Before we, I mean, we should be trying to wrap up because of time now. But before we wrap up, just before I asked you to finish, wrap up your last word. I just want you to shed more light about to just like okay, like you said earlier on, if I can raise that up more. That okay, the trainings at um, Mind Village is not just about for life coach. Is it just for people that wants to become a trainer, or is it just for people that want to be a coach? Is it something someone that is doing business, someone that is doing career, someone that is running family, a professional person can also get involved so as to build their life?
Yeah, what we are talking about neuro linguistic programming and life coaching program, which is not only if you want to become a life coach, you can utilize as a life coach, you can work as a life coach. A part of that, it is your personal development. It is to the, like, if you are a manager of the company, if you are in the sales team, what neuro linguistic programming basically does, neuro linguistic programming is a modeling of excellence. Like, you will learn how to model the excellence. For example, if you are in the sales stream and you learn the techniques of neurolinguistic programming, which is excellent. The founder of NLP, neurolinguistic programming, is Richard Bandler and John Grinder, who basically modeled the excellence. At that time, though, there are some people who are top, very famous on their therapies. So they modeled and they developed this technique how to model them,
Mm,
and then they put it in the NLP. So if, for example, for me, if I want to be a manager, and I know some of in my company, and I know someone who is literally very good in management the people, in managing the people, so I can model them and there are techniques how to model them in NLP. For example, and even if, for example, if I'm in sales and in my team there is one salesperson who is doing an extraordinary job and he's bringing a lot of sales, so I can, through the NLP technique, I can find out, I can utilize those techniques to find out what exactly he is doing and model this behavior by learning NLP things. So it's not only about if you want to be a life coach, being a life coach to help others. It's life coach is basically helping others to do the same. But if
Mm.
you first, even you cannot give anything what you don't have. So first you have to work on yourself in order to help others. So NLP basic in this training, NLP and life coaching, you will work on yourself first, and side by side you will get skills also to help others. So it's basically your personal development, your professional development, and plus you have an ability, you will be skillful to help others as well. That's, I think, our ultimate right life purpose, being a human being, to help others.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kanwa, for sharing. So, to people on Facebook, people watching on platforms, it's not self-development is the key. Like I used to rightly say, is that you are responsible for the outcome of your life. The situations around the current Chelsea is not responsible for you. The government of your country is not responsible for the outcome of your life. Whatever you are able to take by yourself. I mean, I used to tell people you can decide to be sleeping this time, you can decide to be eating, you can decide to stay online and comment on everything online. But the best time for me and you is now, where we need to develop ourselves. And how do we develop ourselves? Because whatever you come out with in this time might determine your life in the next 5, 10 years. Means you may not have any other time for training again. Your organization may not have any other time to send you for training. But if you could use this time to develop yourself, if you could use this time to grow yourself, and that is what growth from within is all about, growing from inside, so that by the time you get back into the real scenario of life, you could operate on a frequency that is high. I mean, people that knows you before going into this recession could ask someone, I thought you were sleeping at home. I said, no, I was not sleeping. I was just developing myself. I think this is a very great course, and I would want you to share maybe your email, so that people can send an email to make requests, and so that, I mean, they can get more information about how to join the course, how to be. I think a spring is coming up very soon, so how they can participate, how they can be part of it. I think it will be very, very great if you can share that before we wrap up. Then you give your final word.
Okay, so our next our online NLP training course is starting from 15th of April, and it will be 7 days training, and 7 days like from morning 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. basically, depending upon the dynamic of the group. And you can, I feel this is the best time to join for the training, because right now you are at home and you still can develop yourself for the future. So our first batch is on 15th April, from 15th to 21st of April. And you can contact me here by in the messenger, on the Facebook messenger. You can like our page on Mind Village Institute, which is on the Facebook page, and you can drop us message, and send me private message on Facebook and even Mind Village page also. And we can communicate. And my also my email address is my name Kanwal at mindvillageinstitute.com. So if you want to drop an email to know more, I can share with the more details about the program. And our next batch, the first batch is from 15th April to 21st of April, and the second batch is from 25th of April, which is in Ramadan. And in Ramadan, we are doing 3 hours every day, which is in the night time, after from 9 p.m. Dubai time to 12 a.m. So why we select this time? Because that will be the time that most people are free and they can attend 3 hours. But this will be continuing for 15 days, not for 7 days, because we are only working for only doing training for 3 hours. So from 25th April, it will be from 25th till 9th of May, and the coming up is 15th April one is from 15th April to 21st April. And I really, really recommend you people to take a step ahead, because this is the time that you can develop yourself. This is not the time to get fearful. This is not the time to get stressed about what is going to happen in the future. This is the time to develop your future, because we were so busy in our life. We were so busy in, we are running and our life was just crossing, but we have now sudden stop. And this is the time that will determine our future. How we utilize this time will have an effect in the future. So I highly recommend you people that go ahead, step in, know yourself better, develop yourself better for the coming future. Thank you so much, and thank you, Kurit,
So much.
for taking
Thank you
me on.
so very much for your time. This is so great. I hope every one of us has been able to, I mean, get one or two things that, like I said, for you to grow, you need to deal with some things. So let's quickly use an illustration as I round up, of a field. You want to plant something, maybe you want to start farming, and you are given the land. You need to clear some things. I need to clear the weeds, to clear the trees, so that by the time you start planting, I mean, what you plant can easily grow and grow well. And that is what we've just done this afternoon. Now, you need to deal with thoughts, you need to deal with your mind, so that whatever you plant in that mind can grow. And so, how do you grow it? Through training. So, you can just reach Kanwa through our Facebook page, you can go comment. There, I mean, you can get details of how to participate in this course. So, your thoughts, guide your thought very well. There are so many things coming and going into people's mind this time. So, it is your responsibility to make sure you maintain a positive thought, and you need the sustainability of that thought, not just put it in your conscious mind, but let it be in your subconscious mind, so that, I mean, it can guide you on your journey in life. So it's been a wonderful time. I hope we have learned something. Thank you so much for connecting with God from within. I know something has happened to you. This video, you can watch it and watch it again on the page, and then it's really going to help you. Remember, the thoughts is important to grow your life. Thank you so much, very much. Thank you so much, Kanwa. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kurit. Thank you so much, everybody who watched, and who will watch later on. Thank you so much.